Hey everyone, it's the guy whose father doesn't love him, and for legal reasons that's a joke. And I just watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Well, I actually watched it a couple months ago. But today I'm going to review it and tell you why it's the perfect adaptation of the games. Call me the nostalgic... So can this movie live up to the hype of 8 whole years? So yeah, this movie was supposed to come out in 2015. Man, do I want to see that timeline.
Alright, Jeffy, welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
So did the movie live up to the hype?
Yeah, it did.
Quick recap. Mike Schmidt is someone who can't quite keep a job while also having to care for his sister Abby. One day he meets with William Afton and gets a job at Freddy Fazbear's, an old pizzeria from the 80s. But then he has weird dreams about his brother. His brother was kidnapped when Mike was 12. And chaos ensues. And I think that's the most I can say without spoilers. Oh yeah, Vanessa's in there. She's pretty cool. So, about the things I like.
All of it.
I've heard some people say that it should have been longer and that the runtime didn't do it justice. But for me personally, I think it was just okay. I think they could have let things run a little bit slower, but overall I think it was pretty good and they used the time they had pretty efficiently. Although I do agree that William Afton should have had way more screen time because he's really only at the beginning and the end of the movie. Is that too spoilery? No, this video is probably going to come out in a week. How wrong that statement was. Back on topic. I do think it probably would have been a little bit clunky if he showed up in the middle of the movie unwarranted, but what do I know? I'm not a writer or anything. Maybe they could have pulled it off. Actually, I do think they could have pulled it off. This movie is great at adapting the games. Like, Mike Schmidt is the main character, and he has a good reason to stay for 5 nights, because the animatronics really aren't that hostile towards him until, like, the 4th or 5th night. And on that scene where it's Max's crew the scene where Max's crew breaking into the establishment establishes how dangerous the animatronics are. Just in case you didn't get that impression from the opening scene, of course. Also, I had a total stroke reading that. What was I writing? What was I thinking? And then in the next scene, Bonnie falling is that what the fuck? And then in the next scene, Bonnie falling on his ass trying to build a pillow fort. Back on topic once again. The mention of the missing children is also amazing. Like, when Mike pieces it together that the kids ghosts are in the animatronics, he's just so chill. Like, bro, are you good? Even the expanded cast, like the aunt whose name I forgot, Abby and Doug, they were all great. The side story where Aunt Afton is trying to get custody of Abby was interesting and definitely worked itself nicely into the plot. And Doug, I love Doug! So I think that's mostly it for the non-spoiler segment. And if you want my opinion, it's going to be freaking fantastic for a non-FNAF, it's going to be fantastic for a FNAF fan, and a pretty good watch for a non-FNAF fan. Now leave and go watch a different video of mine. There's a pretty good one right there. So now on for this video, it'll be pretty much a bunch of spoilers. And oh my god, he said it. He said the thing, guys. So Spring Bonnie was definitely my favorite part of the movie. Like, after he's introduced, it's amazing. Like, after he's introduced, it's immediately peak. I think Matthew Lillard's performance was amazing. Absolutely breathtaking. Okay? So I've rewatched this Spring Lock scene about 8 times, and it's just so good, guys. And an homage to Silver Eyes. I have heard that the line delivery when he says the thing was a little weak, or that he shouldn't have said it at all, since he's not coming back from anything. And I agree with the fact that it sounded a little clunky, and I would have liked to see him take a little bit slower, but personally, I didn't really mind. And about him saying it before he even came back from anything, when I watched the movie, I just read it as a warning. Like, he'll find a way to come back, you know? I thought it was cool. And I'm finally at peace knowing And I'm finally at peace knowing even if the sequel is dog, which it probably won't be. Actually, it won't be at all. It'll be perfect. That I'll still have this to watch over until I die. So I've heard people online and in real life say that this movie should have been rated R. Man, shut that shit up! The FNAF franchise isn't being too childish or being cringy. In my opinion, it's appealing to everyone, which does lend a hand at creating great horror. But using excessive gore is not very scary, because the FNAF movie doesn't need all that. Look how the games worked, not a drop of blood. And Markiplier still thought they were scary, so they had to be terrifying. And I think that about wraps up this video. I hope you liked it and agreed mostly with what I had to say. If you gave this movie less than a 7 out of 10, I will find you, stab you, and dump your body in a river. I will stab you with a sharp knife, you will die, and you will be buried in the river. You will not be alive. You'll be dead. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. Although, it does feel like I'm, leaving something out. What am I forgetting? There's something I didn't talk about. Oh, MatPat!